When I start shooting, all y'all gonna clear out.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are doing another video where we go through the entirety of the roster of Tekken characters A through Z, and we just talk about them in three ways. One, overall impact. Two, their story, where they're at, where they're going, where they went, and then also gameplay. The gameplay of these characters is interesting for more reasons than just balance. And with the character Angel, I think she is one that represents this the most. When you talk about her, it's kind of weird because she hasn't been here for a very long time. In Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was the last time she was playable, but for a lot of people, when they think back to that game, they kind of gloss over the character. Do you think more about some of the more popular characters, some of the more cores of that game, whether that be, popularity or just balance-wise? Angel's always in the background, and in older Tekken, she was more prominent, her definitely because of her story and her connection to Kazuya, but also the thing that makes her like stick and last throughout time now is just the way that she was portrayed in some of those older games. For example, when you ever look up like Tekken 2 or Tekken Tag Tournament 1 and you just look at the imagery of those games, you just look at the Kazuya concept arts, the Angel concept arts, it's super iconic, it's super nostalgic, it just is oozing aura. There's Twitter accounts, there's Instagram accounts that's not related to fighting games at all that just loves these images and they post them. Every once in a while you'll see an image from that era, from that game, from this character go online and people will just immediately just feel that era and they'll just love it, and that's what I think is so cool about Angels, because she represents that older part of Tekken that kind of was lost. A lot of Tekken players talk about when the story was cool, when this was that, and Angel represents like kind of the pinnacle of that, even though she only played a very small role and she hasn't really done much. It's just like she was fire, and this also is carried over through like multiple different type of merchandise. Like I remember before Tekken 8 came out, Tekken did a collaboration with Supreme, and on one of the jackets was Tekken 2 Kazuya and Tekken 2 Angel. When you talk about Angel as the character though in the video game, you put all the other stuff aside, she's an interesting character because even though she is like an angel, she's supposed to be this primordial figure for good, she acts kind of like an animal. She acts kind of like a beast, like a monster. She screams and shouts. Her sound effects that she makes is very visceral. It's a very interesting and unique take on what an angel is supposed to be, and I think it's cool that Tekken went that route because that's like the most Tekken way. When you dive into the story of the character, it gets even more obscure because no one really knows if she's real or if she's not real, if she's like a figment of Kazuya's imagination. Sometimes she's displayed in non-canonical material as like actually existing and kind of overseeing what's happening. She's there, then she's gone. But then when you talk about like what the games show, you kind of have these weird moments where she's showing up and she's like fighting the devil over Kazuya's soul. This led for this like kind of belief that she was somehow connected to Kazuya's soul and these characters were kind of intertwined. And in uncanonical comic, you kind of had this same thing happen where Heihachi captured Angel and was torturing her, and then Kazuya felt it. But sometimes Tekken plays into it, but then sometimes, you have Harada go on Twitter and say that Kazuya and Angel are not connected at all. So then you wonder, what was the whole battle in Tekken 2 over Kazuya's soul about? Why did Angel feel the need? Angel and the devil actually both fought over Kazuya's soul, tried to get like kind of ownership of it. Now we see that Kazuya accepted darkness, so basically the devil won, Angel lost, and since she lost, she fell back. But it would be interesting to see what Kazuya would have been if Angel would have won that kind of like, battle for the soul. But also too, in that very same uncanonical comic, I believe it was Zhao Yu or Jin, one of those guys freed Angel. And when they freed her, Jin at that point in time transformed into Devil Jin and they started fighting each other. During the fight, Angel basically said like, you Jin are the only one who can save this. You're the only one who can fix this. Kind of like saying it's all on him. And she basically vanished. Now, even though that's uncanonical, the fact that she did say these things, the fact that she was trying these things but then failed, when you see Jin get this power from Jun Kazama, this power that is unexplained, unknown, we don't know where it came from, but then Jin takes that power and then he transforms into Angel Jin. I wonder if that's what she was like referring to, what she was hinting at. It's like Jin having this ability to ascend to her level. And then maybe now that Jin has ascended to her level, people are wondering if he could still turn into Angel Jin. Will that means that he can better communicate with her, interact with her? Will she show up again, kind of to enact maybe a phase 2 of the plan? Because even though she lost all the way back in Tekken 2, with Jin doing what he did in Tekken 8, she ultimately would win, and good is prevailing at this time until Reina and whatever else happens. But you just wonder, now that this pivotal moment happened with this angel, primordial thing, will she return again to enact a second part? But then when you look at Angel from a gameplay perspective, it's kind of interesting because since she was very connected to Kazuya in the early stages, and she was kind of like this boss character for him and his devil form, when they adapted her to later Tekken games like Tekken Tag Tournament 2, she basically is just like a Mishima. In story, in universe, there will be no real reason for this primordial figure to be using a Mishima style. It's just like what happened with the way that the game progressed. So if she ever did return, I think, one, they should give her a huge overhaul to the way that she fights and make her completely separate from the Mishimas and make her like her own thing. Because even in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, she had some moves that was unique to her and like was kind of her own playstyle. So I would love to see that idea fleshed out a little bit more. Maybe not in Tekken 8 because we have a lot of characters, we have a lot of ideas already. But if they want to continue venturing down this road of Angel Gen, having Angel show up and be like a counter to that, or like a assistance to that, just something to add on to the lore, to the legacy that is Angel. Because in my opinion, when you just look around at the way that people who aren't really the biggest fans of Tekken interact with the property, a lot of the times it's through this character. With some of the more core and essential characters like a Steve Fox, like a Harong and stuff like that, those characters are never celebrated in the way that Angel is. So she has something special, something unique to her, and the game should leverage that, not only through merchandising but also through like gameplay and story. Because a lot of people don't know who she is, but if they took like a tour down the lane that is Angel, I think they would find something there to appreciate and love about the character. And I think it's time that she no longer be just a palace swap of like Kazuya or like the Mishimas, and she grow and be her own thing, because she's a legendary character in my opinion. But that's it. That's all I really have to say about Angel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and bye-bye.